This is the first time I can remember in a long time that like we weren't clamoring to talk about the event the next day. Like normally we like text each other right away.
Normally I message you in the morning about
Dude,
it.
it took until after like we did all of our stuff that we're doing. And then I'm like, wait, you did? I'm assuming you watched the fights. You're supposed to be at my place in about an hour.
I was even going to message you something in the morning, but then I'm like, honestly, there's not too much I care to say, and we're doing the podcast, so we'll just talk about it.
Exactly. I like
it's not that exciting.
I like the genuine nature of like saying a thought for the first time to each other and kind of getting our reactions from there. So we'll still go from the bottom of the card and moving up. Did you see the Hubbard and Rohskopf fight?
No. So early prelims, I think I tuned in like an hour late, so I think I missed all 3 early prelims, which I'm going to watch later on.
So you didn't see what happened with Rohskopf, did you?
I heard the whole thing though. Like he quit in between rounds.
Do you want to see it?
I think I saw the clip.
It's like
or I heard the
30, 40 seconds. Okay, you already heard it.
Oh, you know what? Play the audio. I don't. I did not hear the audio. Never mind. I think I read more of it.
So it's Robert Drysdale, if you remember that guy.
Yes, and he's trying to encourage him, and he's like, "No, I don't got it." Dana was on his side.
Dana was on the fighter side,
But Dana always says it too. If you don't want to fucking be here, then you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
This guy figured it out during the fight. Didn't waste any more time. Didn't take
5-0. Meteoric rise, really good wrestler,
grappler, right?
really good wrestler. Okay. Got into jiu-jitsu and started doing really good in there. Was supposed to fight in the Contender Series this year, but obviously with everything going on, he just took this short notice fight because Hubbard was supposed to fight somebody else.
He gassed or something, and after winning the first round?
All of his fights, like first or max second round submission finishes. So we don't really get to see much cardio from this kid, and he's not really going up there against like super tough guys, right?
Yeah.
But now he's fighting Austin Hubbard. Like Hubbard, not the greatest fighter either, but really good cardio, solid striking. And in his last fight, he fought an Olympic wrestler and did quite well, but he still lost, but did quite well. And this is.
But from what I just remind me or just tell me if I'm correct or not. So the first round was this guy won using grappling, and then the second round Hubbard pieced him up on the feet. Right?
I wouldn't 100% say that he won first round based off grappling. He was still getting hit in that first round.
Okay.
He tried getting him down. He tried getting submissions, couldn't get him in. Hubbard was out.
Okay, it's not like he like easily.
He wasn't like Khabibing him or anything like that.
He was struggling with.
He was struggling with the grappling.
And then he blew his wad.
And then he started blowing his wad. And then dude, at the end of the second round, like Hubbard was really putting it on him, like massive body shots, like really fucking him up. And then this was going into the third round.
Shit.
And then the ref asked him one time, he's like, "You want to fight?" He goes, "No." And he's like, "All right, done." Called it off.
That's all you need to hear.
Dude, do you remember? You know Robert Drysdale?
Yeah. He's the guy who popped.
Yes.
For testosterone. Yeah.
Yes. And hasn't fought since. I think the UFC cut him after that too.
Okay.
I
he
just
has like a
17
to 1 ratio or something ridiculous too.
Yeah. Something crazy. 7-0, high level jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah, he hasn't fought since then either. Oh, no, wait. He did fight.
Yeah, okay.
Where was
he
it?
beat Ryan Spann.
Ultimate Fighter, he beat Keith Barish. Then he got tested positive and cut. And then he beat Ryan Spann. And he hasn't fought for 4 years.
Was that in the UFC?
No, Legacy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he hasn't fought since then. But that's kind of like, I'm sure you've heard that old like saying like guys that are on like steroids and all that stuff are kind of mentally weak, right? Like they need the steroids to give themselves confidence to really get in there and start performing. That's why possibly we saw a huge decline in Johnny Hendricks's game, right?
Yeah, a lot of people
after USADA came in, dropped his game.
I mean,
you got to think that maybe
timing is suspect.
What if this kid was on the sauce, right? And like just as coming into a legitimate fight now, where you're not ragdolling your opponent. And you're actually facing adversity, you're giving up.
Or maybe it's just the fact that he actually just faced adversity and
probably the first time in his career too.
I don't care to toughen up enough to push through this. I just don't want this anymore. I don't want to deal with it. Dude, one thing I don't like though is how do you feel about Drysdale really trying to convince him to to know. Fuck it, go back in, go back in.
I'm pretty certain he's getting shit on for
right.
that.
Like I don't know about that, man.
Yeah.
When your fight, okay, look, if your fighter says it like 2 times, maybe you keep trying. But after like the 3rd or 4th, where everything you've said to counter it, he just replies with "call it." Waits for you, call it. Like waits for you, call it. Like.
Do you remember the Pennington and Nunes one? Because Pennington was like, "I'm done," but then her coach kind of convinced her, and she's like, "All right, fuck, I'll get back out there."
Yeah. That's not too bad. I don't mind. But one thing in that fight was after she went back out and she just kept taking more damage, just throw in the towel at that point. Yeah. That's what I think they should have done at least.
Sure.
So at least like she didn't have to say like, "Yeah, I'm done." You know what? Like the fighters.
There was another instance of it too, where a coach got shit. Anthony Smith and Mark Montoya.
Dude, 3 10-8 rounds.
But Smith wasn't necessarily saying that. Was he saying that I'm done? I don't recall if he was saying that.
Smith was because the problem with Smith was he was like stationary and getting hit so much and not doing anything or fighting back. But right when I think Herzog was refereeing it, right when Herzog would say like, "I'm going to stop it," then he would move a bit.
Yeah.
So he was literally doing the bare minimum to keep the fight going. He was taking the most amount of damage you can take without getting a stoppage, pretty much. But it was more on him.
But look at his record. His longest fight was round 2, 3 minutes, where he got a rear naked choke on this guy.
Yeah.
In his debut. So maybe that guy was making his debut as well too.
I think he's like, I'm fading. The momentum's going there. I don't think I got it in me to do this. And this guy's just going to beat on me longer. Why are we doing this? Yeah. I don't blame him. I mean, he's cut for sure. Obviously,
they're gonna cut. They should.
I don't think he wants to fight anymore.
The only kind of benefit of the doubt you can give him is that he took this fight on like a week and a half's notice. So how much was he actually?
Yeah,
like prepared for it.
Fair enough. But just to mentally check out like that.
I know.
I mean, fucked. At least he knows now you shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah.
I don't think he should get any sort of negative thing thrown his way. Like. Sometimes you have to be put in that position to know if you want it bad enough, right?
He's
like
25.
How do you know?
He's 25 years old.
How do you know if you want it bad enough?
Yeah.
When the going gets tough, some guys fight through it, and other guys are like, "Yo, I don't have that in me. I shouldn't be doing this." I don't think there's anything bad about this, though. Like, I hope people don't view it as a negative thing.
Yeah.
On the guy. I'm glad that Dana came out and praised him at least. Like, or said it was cool. Like,
I'm not gonna. So that probably means they'll give him another shot. Maybe against him. I'm not sure if is he in the same division as Hooper. Why not put those two fucking guys together? They're both wrestlers, right? Not wrestlers, but grapplers. What division is this? Hubbard is 170, 155.
It just sounded so definitive.
Yeah, sorry, never mind. Hooper's 135.
It sounded so definitive the way he said call it. Like he wasn't even trying to be convinced. He wasn't hesitating. No. He was just like...
Literally everything that guy was saying, just call it.
Just call it. Like he just... It was like he was so sure about it. I think this guy's done fighting.
Like he even called his coach by name too. He's like, Rob, call it.
Yeah. I don't think he'll ever fight again. He probably shouldn't.
He might, but we'll have to see. Lord Murphy against Roxanne Modafferi.
I missed this fight. I'm going to go watch all these fights.
I'm so bummed that I didn't bet on Lord Murphy. She was a slight underdog. Her hands looked really...
slight dog?
Slight dog. She had really good hands against Andrea Lee, and she ended up winning that fight too, right? But Modafferi's just not good on the feet, and she was not able to get the grappling really going and get the takedowns. Justin James against Frank Camacho. Frank Camacho probably one of the... probably second biggest favorite on the card.
Okay, I was like, Frank Camacho's tough as shit, and then I hear about this new guy who just
Justin James steps in because Frivola
he just rushed
pulled out, right? Frivola pulled out maybe 2 or 3 days ago because of his coach testing positive for COVID. Justin James, if you watch his last 3 fights are literally him just going in there and just being a bulldozer and just knocking out his opponent ASAP because he has heavy power. So I'm like, you can't bank on Frank Camacho, who's been getting hurt in his last couple fights, to go up against a guy who's taken the fight on a couple of days' notice and probably knows his only way to win this fight is a quick knockout. He's not going to out cardio Frank Camacho. He's going to go out there and try to throw bombs, land, and that's what he did against Frank Camacho. Gets him out of there in 41 seconds. Great debut, but that doesn't really, this might overvalue him for a lot of people just because he's able to go out there and finish Frank Camacho. But this might be the Alexander Hernandez thing. Yeah. Remember, he finishes Benio Dariush real quick. Everybody's super high on him, and now he's kind of on a decline.
Yeah, right? He had 3 bad fights in a row. Yeah,
Justin James is nowhere near Alexander Hernandez level. So decent win for him, but I don't think he's going to get that far in the UFC.
The thing is, I'm always like cautious or skeptical with these guys who like their known thing is rushing guys right away. Like, what happens when that doesn't work? Because it's gonna not work against a high level guy.
Dude, his record coming into the UFC was 15-4. Okay. So almost a 25 veteran before getting to the UFC. So he was nothing that special leading up to the UFC, right?
Yeah.
So
we know he can do this.
Yeah.
This is where I started watching the card.
Yeah,
so
Robertson versus Casey. I whiff on the fucking under 2.5 by 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Jalen Robertson went out there. She went out there and did what I expected her to do, was just keep pushing the fight.
Strong the grappling.
Casey did a lot better with her submission defense than I was kind of expecting her to do.
But can we talk about how god awful Courtney Casey's takedown defense is?
She has no takedown defense.
I think Gillian Robertson,
death, taxes, and Courtney Casey getting taken down.
Gillian Robertson, I think at one point in the second round, when she got her against the cage and then pulled her leg away and just single-legged her down, she didn't even try that hard, and Courtney just went down with it. And you're like, how are you in the UFC with this level of takedown defense? Like, there's no effort here.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's just too comfortable to work off her back and thought she could catch a submission. It didn't seem like there was no indication of that.
There was
clearly
like
the worst
one
grappler.
close-ish. I think she had an armbar that was nearby.
Yeah, but even
was
I think was it Bisping? Yeah, he pointed out, he's like, oh, it's way too.
It was too
way
high.
too high
It was
up
too
on
high.
the arm. Like, this is not even close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good one for Jillian Robertson. Good on her for like listening to Dean Thomas, who was saying like the choke is there. It's not too late to get a finish, and she fucking gets the finish with 30 seconds left. He yells it out.
Yeah.
It's not too late for a finish, and she fucking
And
wraps
that's
it
what
up.
she does. It's almost like she didn't want to
Come
storm
on.
in this fight and take her time.
Yeah,
Which is bad for you. The fucking not the fight to take your time. Just rush her and finish her. Even when you look at her record, it's all finishes, which is
dude. Now it's 8 straight fights. Either got to finish or gets finished.
that's impressive.
I call her the female Nico Price. Like Nico Price goes out there, gets a finish or gets finished.
Yep,
that's who she
what it
is.
Seems like it is.
Marc-Andre Barriault versus Oscar Piechota.
I was in and out of this fight. It was kind of a little boring from what I saw.
It was actually kind of fun. it was Andre Barriault really pushing the pace, trying to knock out Oscar
was,
Piechota.
on his back foot.
Piechota really has fit again, kind of like a Jillian Robertson type of thing. Either get a submission, get a knockout, or I'm going to get finished. And he got finished.
He's one of those.
Good thing for dude. Marc-Andre.
I gotta rewatch
actually,
it a little more then.
Marc-Andre, I knew him since 2012 or 2013.
I remember this kid. Yeah,
I know. I used to go to Montreal for those amateur fights.
Okay,
and
but
he was fighting on those amateur cards.
Okay, I've heard him before in the UFC at least.
Oh yeah. He was 0-3 in the UFC coming into this fight.
Oh,
he lost to Andrew Sanchez. He lost to Krzysztof Jotko, and I forgot who the last fight is. All close decisions. Never really got wiped out or anything like that. And now he finally comes in and gets a victory. Good for him. Tisha Torres is my biggest underdog play of the night. Thank God she fucking comes out there and styles on Brianna Van Buren. People are just like,
see, I didn't know anything about who Brianna Van Buren was.
Good wrestler from AKA, from Gilroy, California, same with DC and all that stuff. Very good pressure, very good wrestling. But my thing here was, I don't think she was going to be able to handle the strength of Torres, because when it came into the clinch situations, Torres' strength really showed, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and that's what really made the difference. And then her striking, way better than Brianna's, way quicker, a little bit more pop too. She clipped her a couple times too. She did very well. A lot of people were high on Brianna. She was like minus 240, minus 250.
Well, that's what I mean. I saw the odds. I didn't know who Van Buren was. I just she must be like a touted prospect. But when I'm watching the fight, I'm like, how the fuck was Tisha the underdog? This girl has no striking. She's just got that trying to pressure and get her down. And if she can't do it, which she couldn't, she was done.
So striking is slowly getting better fight by fight.
But she looked much behind Tisha.
She looked good in her last fight against Olivier Hanata Souza, if you remember that chick.
Okay.
Former atomweight champion.
Tisha Torres, like people, I know she's got a lot of losses, but these are to the high level.
But
girls.
dude, I was looking at her record. Her last 3 out of her last 4 losses are to former champions or current champions: Weili Zhang, Ioana Jędrzejczyk, Jessica Andrade. Yeah. And her last loss, Marina Rodriguez, who's about to head, I think, no, she's not headlining, but she's fighting Carla Esparza next.
Yeah.
That girl's on the cusp of a title shot too, right? So she's losing against top flight competition. You got to bet her at plus 190, that whatever she was, right? Next up, Bobby Green, Clay Guida. Just a whatever fight.
This was it was the type of, it was honestly
slightly more competitive than the betting line expected too, though.
Yeah, the betting line. That's the thing. I definitely thought Green would win, because I'm like, all Guida can do is try and take him down. And I think Bobby Green has pretty good takedown D, and he will keep him off and then outstrike him, which is kind of exactly how it went. It kind of went the way you thought it would go.
Well, I thought my issue with Bobby Green is sometimes his output is not the greatest.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about fighting a guy like Clay Guida, who's who's always moving, always throwing something, always trying to initiate the grappling or something, I thought he would have been able to steal it from the judges a little bit just based off activity. But Bobby Green did a little bit better than I expected him to do. So good for him to get that victory there. I still missed.
Bobby Green's a type of fighter though, where sometimes he seems to me to be the type of fighter where he thinks he's winning when he's not. Like he might be like, oh, that punch shouldn't even land that clean because I rolled with it, but we just see a punch landing.
Yeah.
So it's counting. And like I've seen so many decisions where he's always like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I remember like the Barboza one, everyone scored it for Barboza pretty handily. And he's like, what the fuck? Like he just seems to always think he's winning when he's not. And that's like,
I feel like it's that translates into a lack of urgency as well too.
Yeah.
Which is why I was skeptical about him going into this fight.
Yeah.
I did not see the reason as to how the Jim Miller and Roosevelt Roberts fight ended on the ground because as soon as I thought,
okay,
I started watching it as Jim Miller was already on top of it.
So Roosevelt Roberts threw like it wasn't really like a body kick. It was more kind of like a half kick, half front kick to the body sort of deal, or something like that. And at the same time, Jim Miller went for like a leg kick, and then Roosevelt kind of just like stumbled and fell off of it.
Oh, okay.
And then Miller followed him and got him down, and then Roberts kind of tried to work his way back up.
I saw roughly about that. So Roberts, regardless,
it was like a half catch, half trip sort of.
Even if Roberts even if that wasn't the way that Jim Miller got him down, I think Miller was still going to be able to get a takedown here. Roberts' main flaw is takedown defense, I feel like, but striking really good, very
boxing,
crisp,
right? Yeah.
So good, very very good. But here's the crazy part: he's only started MMA 3 years ago.
Oh wow!
He's 10-2 now. He's lost twice in the UFC to Vince Pichel and Jim Miller now.
And honestly, when you've only started 3 years ago, if you get submitted by Jim Miller, not a bad thing. Not a terrible thing.
Why the fuck? Jim Miller was plus 220? Fuck you guys. What the fuck? I bet I was gonna bet him, but I ended up going with the under, which I was still fine with, plus 100.
Man, I should have paid more attention to that because one thing that a lot of the casuals don't really follow is that Jim Miller got rid of Lyme disease and has been looking way better.
Yeah.
So they're kind of basing it off of 2 years ago Jim Miller. This version of Jim Miller's better though than that. Like he's got better cardio now.
He did slip up against Scott Holtzman last time around, but I get what you mean for sure. He's still a threat, especially if he's able to get the fight to the ground. His jiu-jitsu is still top notch. You got to give him that respect. Bilal Muhammad versus Lavin Good. Yep, go ahead.
Isn't it crazy that Clay Guida and Jim Miller are fighting on the same card in 2020?
I know. They just fought each other 2 fights ago.
Yeah, but just that. Why are they still around in 2020? Like,
I know.
I'm like, I remember like seeing the Clay Guida fight come up, and I'm like, it's 2020. I remember like, wasn't this guy headlining fight nights in 2007 or something? Like, what the fuck?
Take this, and actually, speaking of longest tenures in like just MMA period, Roxanne Modafferi.
Yeah, she's been around.
Her debut 2003.
Jesus.
And pro MMA debut in 2003. Okay, she's been fighting for 17 years.
And I gotta say, everyone loves Roxanne Modafferi, right? But how is your striking like that?
I know.
It's like Jake Shields.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you training?
She's so stiff. She has like 40 something fights. It's insane. For women's MMA, 40, even 30 plus fights is crazy. She has 40 plus fights. Muhammad versus Good. I didn't get to watch this the closest. It seemed like it was quite obvious that Muhammad should have won that fight.
I didn't really watch the first round, but I saw round 2 and 3.
I looked at the MMA decisions. One of the rounds seemed close in terms of scoring. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Like while watching it live, I thought Muhammad should win this round, but I can see them giving it to Good because the whole fight was Muhammad kind of circling around the perimeter, but landing better on Good.
That's what it seemed like.
Good landed the better strikes in round 2, but it was definitely not enough to outweigh the volume and consistent striking of Muhammad. So I definitely thought Muhammad won the round, but I thought I can easily see a judge giving Good that round. So this might be close in the third round, but then all three gave first
even media scoring seemed like pretty straightforward for Muhammad. A lot of people had it for Muhammad.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch the first round, but I did give him the second. I thought it was one of those rounds, you know what I mean, where you're like, it should be Muhammad, but I don't like bad judging could easily give it to Good. Yeah. Like I can see it going that way.
You can't trust judges at this point in time.
And then Good kind of put a slight beat down, like not like a 10-8. Like he wobbled Muhammad at least. Like he rocked him once and then maybe wobbled him once and then won the striking. But Muhammad did fight back and was competitive so in the third round. So it was a 10-9.
Good win for Muhammad there.
Yeah.
That continues to move him up. He's a talented fighter.
He needs a more definitive win, though. He keeps eking out these decisions. Even this one, he squeaked by after getting hurt in the third.
He finished Takashi Sato last time around at UFC 243.
Takashi Sato? That's the guy that you get fed to get a finish. That's your rebound. That's all he does.
And Pennington versus Renault, not anything special. You know, Renault went out there and did what she was supposed to do. Or sorry, Pennington went out there and did what she was supposed to do on Renault's 43rd birthday. It was her 43rd birthday yesterday.
Old.
Happy belated,
Ridiculous.
Renault. Highly doubt you're going to watch this, but Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. So we went over this in the deciding split. So if you want to know why we scored the fight the way we did, we had Josh Emmett winning 29-27. Just go back and see how we got to that scorecard. I'm bummed, man. Like, I'm a big Shane Burgos fan, and I actually thought that he was going to be able to put on a better performance, but it comes down, like we talked about in deciding splits, the striking defense is just not there.
I don't even know if it's not there or if he just doesn't use it in the fight because he's cool getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs more urgency to get the fuck out of the way of these shots.
Yeah.
Like it's almost it's like a bad thing. His chin's too good.
His chin is very good. Josh Emmett was hitting him with the same combination over and over.
Just bombs.
And over
Left,
and
right,
over
bombs.
again. Like the whole fucking fight. It was jab, right hook coming over that, whether it was to the body
left,
or to the head. Yeah, that was really about it. Emmett looked great, man. Like his cardio held up. He had that possible little scare with his knee or something in the second round. I was very impressed with him, especially the fact that this fight took place in the striking round for the majority of the fight. I'd say 99% of the fight was on the feet, and Emmett was easily winning that. Like,
Yeah, you would think like on the feet, I would think this fight would be
Burgos
pressuring and out-voluming Emmett, and Emmett just trying to like not get drowned out and throwing bombs back here and there. But no, he was matching the output with his bombs almost. Like it was like
you kind of gotta respect like Michael Johnson's game a little bit more too. The way he was able to piece up Josh Emmett before getting knocked out.
He was piecing him up.
He's doing way better than Shane Burgos did.
Poor Michael Johnson, eh? Like that guy's record does not reflect how good he is.
17 and 15 or
He
some
has
shit.
so many
Like,
losses where he's like easily winning, and it's like a mental lapse, and he just gets choked or something. It's like God.
Josh Emmett being another victor against Michael Johnson as well too, right? So, in terms of the division, let's see. Like this is a fight that kind of has some.
Here's a nice little point that I bet no one noticed but me.
Because you're so fucking observant.
Yo, when it comes to math, okay?
Okay, give me the mathematicians.
Did you notice when the scorecards were read, Shane Burgos was able to correctly deduce that he lost
he's like,
because of the scores. He did the correct fucking math. Not Kelvin Gastelum over here, where it's like all three judges scored this about 48-46, and he's like, it's like, you got dropped 4 times in the last round. Who got the 10-8? You or Izzy. Like, no concept of it. Burgos, after getting bombed on, no less, here's 29-27, instantly realizes 10-8, that has to go to Emmett. He's like, fuck, I lost. Damn it. God, damn it. And I'm like, yes, I kind of was annoyed with you because of your shitty striking defense, but now I like you again.
You're kind of smart, so I'll give it to you.
Even after getting bombed on like that, you were able to do the math there. Good. I like that guy.
I love the things that make Tony
man.
happy. Like shit like that fucking kills me.
Now I picture Burgos outside of the cage wearing glasses and a button up with a vest. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's how I picture Burgos.
Like how we picture old man Edgar, kind of like him.
But inside he's just a total savage, like getting hit for no reason.
Fuck. So let's talk about the rankings and how this kind of affects that. Emmett is currently number 8. He's got Frankie Edgar ahead of him, who's probably going to get taken out of the rankings now because he's at 135, scheduled to fight Pedro Munoz. So let's say Josh Emmett is number 7. He's got Cater in front of him. He's got Rodriguez in front of him. Korean Zombies beat Brian Ortega, Max Holloway.
Yeah,
do you think he hops any of those guys?
Oh, going up?
Do you think?
I think he just goes to 7 to take Frankie's spot.
Yeah,
because Frankie's not active, so they'll easily switch them up.
Mm-hmm.
I know they have Cater versus Ige.
Yeah, it's hard to put him above Cater, in my opinion. Even though Cater's coming off a loss, it's coming off a loss to number 3. So
I think Emmett just moves up 1 because you did beat someone behind you, so you should move up. But when you beat someone behind you, you move up like 1 spot.
Sorry, just quick correction. Calvin Cater is actually coming off a victory over Jeremy Stevens.
Yes,
not off that loss from Zabit, which was the fight before
okay.
that. But so Emmett number 7. Burgos is probably just going to go down to 11 because Ige is going to move up.
Ige should probably
Ige will slightly move up. Jose Aldo.
You guys got a good fight against Cater quickly after the Barboza one, man.
Impressive. I'm very much looking forward to that fight. I got Cater all day in that, but
I just feel like after you fight Barboza, you should probably take a little bit of time off. Everyone,
Yair's got to get his fucking ass back in the cage, man.
That's one thing
can't
about
be
Yair.
holding number 5.
He does not fight that often.
Not at all.
He just doesn't fight that often.
Like, I don't know what the issue is now, because before it was like injuries and like just trying to recover from the Frankie Edgar loss.
But Yair's also that guy who just seems to think that he's like the best thing in the world, and maybe he's holding out for more money again, or he only wants a guy ranked above him.
Yeah.
And the UFC's like, no, or I don't know. There's probably something going on there. Because when you look at it, what was his last win? Jeremy Stevens?
Yep.
Not a very impressive win, though. No. Like, Cater should be ranked above him, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you survived
right.
round 3 and outstruck him round 1 and 2. Cater knocked him out in the second round.
Yeah.
That's a better win.
I like, personally, there's the triangle right now in the featherweight top 5. Yair Rodriguez, Zabit, and Brian Ortega. Those guys kind of need to work something out.
Dude, these top...
Is Korean Zombie scheduled?
I swear to God, it feels like we have been talking about matching up the top 5 of the featherweight division for like 6 months. Like, can these guys get some fucking fights already? Ortega... I guess maybe because of the virus thing too, but
that slows things down.
Ortega hasn't fought since Holloway. It's been like almost 2 years now. We're coming up on in December, I think. Mm-hmm. Chan Sung Young, you ran through Frankie Edgar. You're good to go. Like, why haven't those guys fought? They're supposed to fight.
Hopefully he's scheduled.
I think they were scheduled, and then Ortega pulled out with the injury or whatever. But then Yair, match him up with someone. Yair and Zabit, just do it.
Yeah.
They were supposed to fight already. Just make that fight.
That's the fight everybody fucking wants. Like, that would be a great fight.
And make it a 5-rounder. Make it a fight night main event.
Yeah. Put those two together. Put Ortega and Zombie together.
Yeah.
And then whoever has the most impressive victory out of those can fight the winner of Holloway and Volkanovski. Right?
I'm totally cool with it.
All right, let's just move on to the main event then. We had Curtis Blaydes versus Alexander Volkov. Did you watch his post-fight interview? Like, not the press conference?
Oh, no. I was done with the...
Dude, he looked like he was about to pass out trying to talk to John Anik.
He was gassed.
Like, I'm like, Anik, you just shut up, please. Just let him go. Like, he looked like he was closing his eyes, trying to breathe. And then when he would open his eyes were all fucked up. I don't know if he has cross-eyed, but his eyes looked all fucked up. He almost looked like he was going to faint. There was one point where he kind of stumbled too. Like, he was so gassed. Ridiculously gassed.
That's one thing about this fight. It's weird when your only 2 losses are to Ngannou. You're clearly deserving of a title shot. You beat everybody else. You come out here, you beat this guy again. You kind of maybe not dominated, but controlling in terms of control dominated the first 3 rounds, and yet you come out of this fight and your stock went down. Mm-hmm. To me, this was a bad look for Curtis Blaydes. I know he's only lost to Ngannou, so he deserves the title fight. But coming off that performance, do I think he has a chance against those top guys? No. That's bad cardio. And you didn't exactly do so much damage on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
In that top 10 though, who could you? Because let's lay out the heavyweight division right now. Because Stipe and DC are fighting for the 3rd time in August 15th. That's the date. Francis Ngannou will more than likely get the winner of that fight. I'm assuming he's going to sit out. There's no way he's fighting anybody else. Curtis Blaydes then obviously has to wait
only
or
Jones.
take another fan to take. Yeah, correct. And Francis Jones would be the only other fight. I highly doubt we see Curtis Blaydes sit out. It would be at least a year before we've settled this heavyweight stuff.
He can't wait for it.
There's no way.
Francis Ngannou is already waiting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
there's already a guy waiting.
August is a title fight.
Yeah.
Let's say 5 months after that. What is that? January, February-ish. That Francis will probably get the title shot.
Dude, here's the thing though. Here's the weird part about this whole equation. Win or lose, the next heavyweight title fight is probably going to be Stipe and Ngannou. Even if Stipe loses, it's going to be vacant. And they might do Stipe and Ngannou.
And
if Stipe wins, he's going to defend it against Ngannou. So it seems like we've already got that matchup made. It's going to be Stipe and Ngannou, regardless.
The only person that could squeak in there is Jones.
Yeah.
He's the only person that could squeak in there.
Otherwise, that's probably what we're getting. And the thing with Stipe is he's old, doesn't fight that often.
Yeah.
This DC Stipe trilogy taking way too long. It's once a year for the last 3 years.
Dude, the first time they fought was UFC 226,
it's
right?
July,
UFC 252.
July, August. It's once a year they only fight.
It's been 26 UFC.
They're lucky the heavyweight
pay-per-views.
division sucks, but now you actually have two legit contenders who are like, yo, what the fuck, guys? Let's get this on with.
Yeah.
So I don't. There's actually.
So who does Blaydes fight then?
Can
the
you
winner
imagine if Stipe's done?
If he retires too? Dude, this heavyweight
He's
division
38 years old.
Like, I'm trying to look further down and who could like come up. Cyril Gane is the only name that I could potentially think is a dominant heavyweight on the rise. He's scheduled to fight Sergey Pavlovich, who's number 13. There's nobody else.
Now, here's another thing. What happens if Stipe whether he wins or loses, what happens if he's in a tough fight with DC?
Then he's out for even longer.
Then he's not going to probably fight again until next July or maybe like March or something. Like, these guys take off at least 6 months in between these fights, and Stipe's on the older side and has a full-time job. I don't think he's going to fight that often. So then what? Ngannou's going to have to wait for that fight to happen in August and then wait another 6 to 7 months. Even he's going to be waiting too long. What? Blaydes is going to sit out for 2 years? His whole prime.
I think
he's 29.
the only thing that Blaydes could do is the only other big fight coming up.
Lewis.
There's JDS against Rosenstrike is a fight that's coming up at same card, 252. Lewis is fighting Oleinik.
For some
right?
fucking reason.
So maybe the winner of that, Curtis Blaydes, get the winner of that.
That's what which is gonna be Derek Lewis. Like, I don't see how Oleinik can win that fight. Derek Lewis versus Blaydes is probably like the only
fight you can kind of sell that hasn't already happened yet. Unless Rosenstrike goes out there and absolutely deads JDS.
Blaydes might end up beating everyone else in the top 10 before he gets the belt. Gets a title shot. Like, there's nothing else to do. Just keep knocking them out.
It's so salty, dude.
Another one though.
That division is just so fucking salty.
What I think they might do, if anything, is if Rosenstrike beats Junior, they might do Blaydes and Rosenstrike.
Yeah.
That would probably be the
because again, his only loss is the same thing that Blaydes keeps losing to, a quick Francis fucking rush, right?
Yeah,
that's what's so frustrating. Funny. That's what's so frustrating about Francis. Like, we've only seen 2 fights where he hasn't landed the bomb and he lost them. The Derek Lewis fight, I'm just writing that fight off just because it wasn't really even a fight.
He just didn't do anything.
And then the Stipe was able to eat those shots, and then when we saw what Francis was made up after that. But and Francis, I hate that we just don't see it. We don't see it. We don't get to see what Francis is made of anymore. Like, he just goes out there and deads these guys.
His demeanor and posture, everything, it looks good. But then even the Rosenstrike one, just a wild, crazy combo that looked pretty bad, and it was good that one punch landed. That's all he needs. He's just so like confident in that. But yeah, this whole like. You remember when after Ngannou had the Lewis fight, then he got those three knockouts in a row, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, like this is the new and improved Francis." I'm like, "What are you basing that fucking information off? No. This is the exact thing he was doing before he lost.
Yeah.
And now he's just gone back to doing the same thing. Yeah. What are you seeing that's different?
It makes no sense.
It's just because he won? Yeah, but how is it? It's the same way. Same way.
That's why I don't mind betting against Francis. Yeah. If he's fighting like a guy that's a huge underdog.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't land that bomb, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Right?
Might get taken down. Yeah. Cardio. That's going to be an issue.
That's it. Like, I feel so bad for this heavyweight division right now because it's just a wasteland. Like, you got Augusto Sakai, who's on a little bit of a winning streak, but he's not going to do shit.
Fuck that.
Right? You got, again, Cyril Gane is the only other person that you can think of that could make the heavyweight division great again. You know what I mean? Like, that's the closest thing that I can think of. So yeah, you think Blaydes' stock went down with this victory? I
think so.
Did you see Dana? Did you see what Dana said about him?
Yeah, he said you look stupid.
Yeah, don't be talking all this shit if you just
I saw the headline, I'm like, oh, that sounds rough. But then when I saw like the article, I'm like, oh, Blaydes was talking shit, and Dana's just he wasn't like yelling at him. He was just like, dude, when you talk all that shit and you perform like that, you look stupid. All right, that's actually fair. You do look stupid when you talk all that shit. Mm-hmm. Don't talk all that shit if you don't think you have cardio for 5 rounds. Or, well, I was surprised. And you should have known that you didn't have cardio for 5 rounds.
How long
Doesn't he train in Denver as well? Mm-hmm. What the fuck's going on there?
How long did that Mark Hunt fight go on? Because that was a main event, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think Volkov was just doing more and making it harder for him to keep him down.
Hunt wasn't really giving anything off the ground.
Even Justin Willis. It's not like he gassed against Justin Willis. But
Mark Hunt. Oh, it was a 3-round fight. I don't know why I thought it was 5 rounds.
Yeah, it's just Volkov, I think, was just doing more.
Interesting.
Dude, it's kind of funny.
Blaydes already has a victory over Oleinik. I totally forgot about that.
I kind of tuned... Wait, Blaydes has a victory?
UFC 217.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
TKO doctor stoppage.
It's either going to be Rosenstrike or Lewis next, I think, for him.
Yeah.
The fuck
Sorry,
was I
you were saying? My bad.
Yeah, I lost my thought now.
You lost your own thought.
Yep, it's gone.
God, Tony. Let's see if there's any other big headlines that we can like just quickly riff on.
Oh,
Real
that
quick.
was the thought.
Go ahead.
One interesting thing. I kind of tuned out towards the end of the fight, like, because it was kind of boring, and I'm like, oh, this is going to a decision. But 2 of the judges gave 4 and 5 to Volkov.
Yeah, there was a 48-47.
And then there was one 48-46.
Which would have said...
I know. Those were the 2 cards. 48-46, 48-47, and then 49-46, because one judge gave him...
just pull it up right
One judge gave Blaydes the 4th round.
49-46, 48-47,
one judge gave a 10-8
48-46. Interesting.
I just thought from what I saw, it looked like Blaydes won 4 rounds, but then when I saw the scores, I'm like, holy fuck!
Yeah,
Like, it was actually
you
close.
could give Volkov that 5th round for sure.
Interesting. I'm not gonna go rewatch it. I'll tell you.
No,
that
fuck
much.
no. Was there any other headlines coming out of this that were talk worthy?
Oh, interesting.
The top
Robert
2.
Drysdale. I did the right thing by refusing to stop.
Don't die on that hill, bro. Just saying.
That's ridiculous.
The 2 of the top 4 stories is about Rohskopf.
Yeah,
here's the first fight.
Failed to protect his health. Yep.
Yeah, that's fucked. Blaydes declares, "I'm a heel." On apology to fans.
He's a little cringe, Curtis Blaydes. Like, he seems a little not in tune with reality a bit. Like, he says some dumb shit.
I'm interested to know if he'll actually come back to fighting that we were talking about. Tyson Fury might be a new EA UFC 4 game. The fuck?
See, the problem with Blaydes is you can't be a heel if no one gives a fuck about
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
You're just not a heel or a face. No one cares.
Damn, Jim Miller fucking
he got
killed
the
it
top
with the
payout.
salaries. I can see this.
Blaydes got 90 and 90.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, but man,
80 for Volkov. A nice 152 for Josh Emmett. 75 for Burgos is not bad.
Man,
good for him for getting that contract.
208,000 to fight Roosevelt Roberts. You know how many guys would just be like, "What the fuck? Hell yes."
Well, Roberts he was high,
but
25
it's not even that. It's the tenure, right?
Yeah.
So Miller had to go through a lot of shit over the
to
years
get that 104. Yeah.
Poor Bobby, 36 and 36. I thought he would be, but he does lose a lot. Like, his record.
He has
really
he has no chips. I want to see what the bonuses were. Obviously, Emmett and Burgos should have won fight of the night. Who are the other ones?
Blaydes Volkov was fight of the night, bro.
Shut the fuck up. What are the other ones?
Jim Miller for his submission.
Jim Miller submission and Justin James. Did he get that? Yeah, took home performance of the night. I don't know, man.
I keep saying it.
I don't
They
know.
need to change the name. They need to change the name because they don't actually look at it as performance of the night. They
No.
look at it as finish of the night.
Yeah.
Performance means overall performance. They're only looking at the finish, though. Mm-hmm. Because it used to be, remember, submission of the night, KO of the night, finish of the night.
Yeah. I'm cool with that. What's
It's not fucking performance.
Let's see. What
I've seen some cards where a guy gets his ass whooped, pulls out a finish,
And he gets
then
the-
another guy like easily dominates and has a good performance in a decision, but the finish gets a performance of the night. Like, you got.
Like, I would much rather give the performance of the night to Jillian Robertson than Justin James because she was able to go out there and control Casey for 2.5 rounds and then finish her at the end.
Finish her, exactly. There was one fight, I think it was like Alex Chambers. She was either losing or winning the fight after 2 rounds, and then like gets an armbar 2 minutes into the 3rd round, and she got performance of the night. Like, it was literally like getting dominated and owned for 2 rounds.
Comeback of the night.
Out an armbar.
Give me a comeback of the night, and you can compare
it's
that.
like that's not a performance of that's a bad performance that you got lucky at the end.
Even Marc-Andre Barriou probably deserved that over Justin James. Like
As an overall performance.
Like, come on, that makes no sense.
Nope.
Let's finish off on this next weekend. Big fight. I'm excited for it.
What is it?
You
they're
don't
all
even
blending
know.
together. They're all blending together, and they come so quick. I don't know what the hell's coming.
You're gonna like this one.
Hold on. What's the date?
27th is next weekend. Come on, Tony, with your memory and all.
It's not.
Fuck you. Let's go. Come on.
Then there's the
make it
week
work. Come on.
All I can think of is Usman, July 11th. That's all I got in my head right now. What's the fight, man?
co-main event.
Okay.
Mike Miller. What am I talking about? Mike Perry versus Mickey Gall.
Oh, that's the co-main?
But main event makes up for it.
Okay.
Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier.
Oh yeah, how did I forget about this? It's been everywhere too. I just didn't register that that's a fight night main event. I thought that fight was just happening soon.
Nope.
I just didn't know what the card was. That's a great fight.
Let me see what the rest of the card looks like.
I'm kind of sad. I was hoping the odds would be more even, but
What are they anyway?
they're like minus 240 or minus 250 for Poirier,
Oh, really? Is
Which
it that
is-
big? Minus 220. Oh, shit.
which in my opinion is where they should be. I thought Dan Hooker might be a little overrated because of his win streak, whereas in my he lost the Paul.
He lost the
Felder
Paul
Let's be
Felder
real.
fight. Yeah.
Paul Felder should be getting this fight right now.
I
So,
like Poirier here too. Fuck.
I like Poirier the way Dan Hooker gets hit, and with Poirier's
the
boxing,
fight doesn't go to decision here.
and Poirier's taken a lot of time off.
Yeah. Minus 265 for fight doesn't go to decision. Yeah, he lost to Khabib in September of last year.
Yep. I don't like how Dan Hooker fades after those 3 rounds. And
Minus
just on top of that, he
280
gets hit too easily.
Minus 280 on Mike Perry over Mickey Gall.
How does Mickey Gall win this fight? Unless he just randomly gets a submission and strangles him. Like, this is such a bad matchup. Mickey Gall is way too early in his
Yeah.
career to fight a guy who's fought some of the top guys, even though he's not won too many.
He's very one-dimensional though, Mike Perry. Very one-dimensional.
Yeah, but Mickey Gall
But a
is
fucking
fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like this should be a quick knockout.
I
On
don't
the
think
feet.
I don't think it'll be a quick knockout. I think
Okay.
it'll be a
Well,
little bit
it's
longer than that.
disappointing for Mike Perry if
Yeah.
he doesn't get an early stoppage by
It's
knockout. or
promising.
TKO.
It's promising that Mickey Gall has been working with Joe Schilling for a longer period of time now, which should help his striking. But we'll truly see it tested here because if this is actually the perfect fight to find out how good his striking is starting to get.
You think it's a perfect? I
bro.
think it's just too much.
No,
Give him
I
a
mean
lower
like this
level.
is the perfect fighter to test it against.
Okay.
Because if
Stylistically,
stylistically, if you have been working on your striking, Mike Perry is the perfect guy because you know he's just going to be coming for winging bombs
Yeah.
and trying to knock you out. This is where you learn your techniques, and this is the perfect fight for you to figure that out.
That's fair enough,
So
yeah.
I'm going to stay away from it. Minus 280 is a little bit too high for me for a fighter as unreliable as Mike Perry, as shitty as Mickey Gall could potentially be. Minus 280, not even
Yeah, I
worth
agree
it.
with you there. The
Yeah.
odds are just not worth it though.
Gian Vellante going up to heavyweight to fight Maurice Green, whatever fight.
Who cares?
He fought. Wait, Vellante fought Rothwell, right? At heavyweight.
No, Rothwell fought OSP.
Oh, OSP. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think Vellante was actually supposed to fight Rothwell, and then that got switched out. Kama Worthy,
Vellante is probably the
shittiest fighter,
most
The
frustrating
shittiest fighter
fighter
of all
to
time.
watch. He's
I love,
so
I
bad.
love his coach and how pissed off his coach.
Yeah,
always
because
gets
it's always
at him.
like fucking
Yeah.
do something.
Keith Trimble. I always,
Tyron
I'll
Woodley,
never forget his name.
Vellante, add
Yeah.
them to the list. Guys
Yeah.
who just stand there and freeze and do nothing.
Uncoachable fighters.
Rashad, towards the end of his career, after his
Yeah.
knockout, pretty much he was like that too. He just didn't do anything.
Luis Pena against Kama Worthy. If you remember, Kama Worthy cashes a huge
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
against Devontae Smith coming in on short
That's
notice.
a tough fight in your second fight.
Yeah,
that's what
against
happens
Luis
when you
Pena.
get a good win, right?
Yeah, Philippe Lins against Tanner Bozer, decent whatever fight. Barella against Maverick. Maverick's fun. She's minus 300. Wow, the odds makers are really giving her some love here.
Barella's not good though.
Yeah, Maverick is interesting. Invicta, very good fights there. Sean Woodson against Kyle Nelson. That should be a fun fight. I don't even know if... Do you know who Sean Woodson is? I'd be very surprised if you know who Sean Woodson is. Okay. So your second UFC fight, so I'll cut you some slack there. Takashi Sato against Ramiz
By the way,
Brahimaj.
I booked something earlier on when I kind of made fun of Takashi Sato. I was thinking of Takanori Sato.
Who the fuck is that?
Do you remember that? Or did I just make up that first name? There's another Sato. Eric Silva fought him. And that guy was just like fed to guys to get them a win. So I thought it was the
This
same
guy, no,
dude.
this is a different one. This is for sure a different one. But I'm trying to remember the guy that you're talking about. Takanori Sato. Wow, I don't. Wow,
So-
Tony. Hold on, I need to
And
Google
look at this
guy.
guy's record.
Hold on,
Look
I
at
need
this
to
guy.
Google. I need
All
to
of his
Google.
fights in the UFC are like pretty good names just to get them a win. Something like that.
Oh, okay, I remember this guy. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, I barely remember
I was
this guy.
picturing him when I was shit talking Takashi.
19, 12,
This
and
guy's
7.
still around getting wins for everybody.
Oh, he actually lost to Armin Sarukian before.
See, Eric Silva, then Hyung Yu Lim, like he got tough fights. He was just around for people to get.
Didn't even get one UFC
Oh, he
win.
only got 2 of them. Okay. Yeah.
Poor guy.
He just sucked.
Yeah, I barely remember him.
Yeah.
No, this other Sato is actually pretty good.
Takashi.
He's not that bad. Minus 180 against debuter. Jordan Griffin against Yusuf Zalal. Should be a fun fight. Wow. Minus 120 Jordan Griffin. I might have to look at that one.
Interesting.
And the fight doesn't go to decision is probably going to be Oh, plus 155.
Oh, I'm excited.
Interesting.
Not a terrible
Very
card.
interesting. Decent fight.
Oh, there you go. The co-main is Lad McMahon. Oh, that's
No.
off.
That's off.
That's
yeah. That's why Coleman is Gall and Perry now.
right. Okay. Makes more sense.
Brendan Allen was actually supposed to fight Ian Heinisch. Heinisch had to pull out. So that would have been a good fight too. Decent card. I'm just happy for the main event. Hopefully it's another 8 p.m. Eastern main card start. Let's see if they have that information out, because that would be great. I loved it, dude. 10:30, 11 o'clock finish. I know you passed out, so I didn't really pass it to you. But 10:30 to 11 o'clock finish, even with the main event going as long as it did.
Yep. That's why I love those 8 p.m. cards.
Let's see. Let's confirm.
If I cared
that
about
it's
it,
8
I would have
p.m.
stayed up. But I'm like, this is not worth it.
Main card 6 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. I hope that this is correct.
No, EDT? Is that Eastern?
I'm pretty sure that's Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, look.
I don't know what the D is, but
4 p.m. for the prelims. TSN UFC June 27th.
But this is a Vegas card.
I know.
That can't be right.
Let me just see TSN schedule just to confirm this.
We never get fights that early in the Eastern time zone.
Oh, it doesn't give us... No, but you don't give it...
It's got to be a little later. That has to be an error.
I'd be very happy. Yeah, this is not...
Although the UFC website does, it knows where you are when you access the website.
Yeah.
So it gives you the time frame accordingly. So it knows you're in the GTA.
Okay, let's try the UFC June 27th start time. UFC 2020 schedule. 8 p.m.
There you go.
Does it say 8 or am I blind?
I don't know. I couldn't even see it.
Yeah, main card, 8 p.m.
Yeah, okay.
Eastern.
That makes a little
That makes
more
sense. 6 p.m.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
It's
guys,
what?
come on.
Because, and Pacific Standard Time, that's like fucking 3 p.m. in
3.
the afternoon.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts for the episode?
Nothing, not too much happening this card. Even the main event was like, no one really cared too much.
So we got June 27th, then we got a week off.
And then we got...
Then we're 3 events in 8 days or 7 days.
Oh, fuck yeah. Give them all. Give them all to me.
Yeah. And then we got 4 events in July.
Yeah.
We got the 11th, which is the big card, 15th, 18th, and then the 25th. So I'm liking it.
I'm loving it.
25th. And
More
then,
fights for me is I'm always
August
happy.
1st, August 8th, August 15th, for sure. So how many is that?
Coming.
That's 4, 5, 6, 7 events in a row.
It's got to be like every week at this point.
I love it. I love it. All right, make sure you guys go check out the Deciding Splits episode that we did for Burgos and Emmett. Let us know how you guys scored that fight and if we got it wrong. Probably not. And yeah, that's about it. Hit subscribe, do all that bullshit, and we'll see you guys next week.